Hey everybody, welcome to Press Pause, the video game discussion show. I'm your host, Carlos Rodella. With me, per usual, Dan Shu.
Hey.
Also from BitMob, co-founder of BitMob. And thank you for coming back and being our host again.
Thanks.
He's going to be here. You're here all week. Also, Rus McLaughlin.
Hello.
Said it right, from bitmob.com. Here to talk about Noire with us, as well as who is going to be the big loser, we think, at E3.
And you can't wait to talk about Noire.
I can't wait to talk about Noire. I am bubbling with opinions. Before we get started, though, if you're wondering where Scott Jones is, he's over there on the Wheels of Steel. And we are doing a podcast every once in a while, so you can hear his voice. Just tweet at us, Press Pause Show, and we'll tell you when we put it up. So you can hear us, bitch and moan about things, gaming. Let's get started with Noire. But before we start Noire, what are you doing, Dan? How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Trying to find time to play games.
I was going to ask you.
Most of my Memorial Day weekend was playing games.
Right. So what have you been playing when you've been chilling?
Well, besides Noire, Mortal Kombat, Black Ops, still playing a lot of Black Ops multiplayer, and the game you turned me on to, Outland.
Ooh, I love me some Outland.
Yeah, totally off my radar, but because you were like, you just couldn't shut up about it, basically.
Wow.
So I'm like, all right, I'll check it out.
And you're not my co-host anymore.
So I got the trial and I ended up buying it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like a Ikaruga, right?
Yeah,
it's like a shooter,
like
but a platformer.
Black-white dimension where you have to figure out it's red and blue, right?
Yeah.
But it's like a platformer too. It's really cool.
Cool.
I like the design.
I'm glad you liked it and that I turned you on to something that you didn't hate. I will say that I'm playing Avatar Legends, which is for Xbox indie games. You probably don't know it, or if you saw a game that has the word Avatar in it, you probably ran away, which is okay because a lot of them are pretty rough. This one is awesome because it's basically an RPG maker, and I'm just trying to tell everybody about it, from developer Barker's Crest, which I think is just one guy, really. And let's show some footage of it real quick. It's an action RPG game. It comes with its own quest, but it's also like RPG Maker 2000 or whatever, those build your own RPGs. It's cool.
Stuff I always thought that stuff was cool. Never would touch it. It's so much work.
It's a lot of work.
I remember Fighting Game Maker and RPG Maker and all that.
But the ones for the PlayStation were tough because they were so cumbersome.
Yeah, I just would not have the patience to create one thing.
I think that he made it pretty well, pretty quick and easy. Mm-hmm. So you're using your Xbox controller. There's a cool little pick land, drop it down. So just check it out. Avatar Legends. All right, let's do the Noire review. Are we ready, everybody? I'm going to start because I'm bubbling with ideas. By the way, I kept all my notes about the game in this little notebook. Is that corny?
Yeah.
Very.
Okay, he's saying yes. So I have strong feelings, and which is cool, we were talking about before the show, that most people who play this game do have strong feelings for or against, which is great because it's better than, right? I say the game itself has an awesome feel, okay, very cool, noir feel, the rain, the music, it's just awesome to be in that world. But the problem is it has a really odd sexism feel. It is messed up. And now I know there's a period piece, and people back then did things a little different. But there is, confound it, they did. Thanks. But there is a lot of sexism. There's a lot of women violence action going on. And it's totally okay to hit women. That's what they're saying in this whole game. So I have a strong problem with that. And again, I know it's from the time period, but really every guy I encountered, I hit her down a couple times.
What an evening.
No, I didn't. Thoughts on that part, at least.
I think it's all right.
Wait. So are you saying you...
It's all right to hit women.
Okay, that's what I make sure. That's what you're saying.
It's if that's what the time's like. I never watched Mad Men. That's the name of our show now. But I never watched Mad Men, but I hear from a lot of people it takes some getting used to, because this is like a period when men behaved this way and women had a role in society that men put them in, and then it's like but that's part of its charm, right? Like if they're too politically correct in Noire, it would feel wrong.
I agree, but it just seems like every single guy you walk by, even like a little earshot, he's like, I hit my wife down a couple times. Like, everybody's saying this, that's all.
It also kind of fits in with the genre that they're going for. If you've read, Hammett or Raymond Chandler or any of those, the women are all either victims or they're making men into victims. So it kind of fits in with the milieu.
And they also all get drunk.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of weird.
All drinking, all smoking, all beating women.
Yeah. No, I mean, the women all get drunk in this game, it seems like. They're like, yeah, I couldn't take it anymore, getting hammered by my man, so I decided to go out and drink.
And get hammered.
And get hammered again.
Yeah.
Okay, so but just the gameplay itself, I enjoyed the detective stuff. It's really cool. It's kind of an adventure game. I mean, it is. It's a straight-up adventure game. But it does get a little repetitive. I mean, the fact that you're doing the same thing over and over again. Later on in the game, it gets a little bit different. But I mean, there's lots of runners, lots of chases, lots of go to the scene and find everything.
Yeah, walk around very slowly, looking for
really slowly
until your controller rumbles.
Right. So I think overall, I definitely say it's more of a get it for me because it's just so, such a huge world and beautiful and interesting. But it's really frustrating. The biggest thing that I want to say, though, and then I'll let you guys go, is the partner want to kill him. Literally, my partner. Oh, the main guy the whole time. What's his Rusty or whatever, right?
The first guy.
First partner,
yeah. He's all right. He's cool.
He's all right. Why do I feel like I'm alone here?
He's not hitting women.
He's terrible. Everything he says is stupid.
He's better than Galloway, the homicide partner.
Well, anyways, okay. I had a problem with him, and some of the weird, clipping issues obviously are really weird. Like collision detection stuff is weird. It's such a mixed bag for me. I don't know. Let's go to Russ. What do you think?
Well, if you approach this game like it's a Rockstar game, it's open world, I'm going to be able to go anywhere, do anything, and do all these different things, you're not going to like it because a lot of the mechanics are not fun. Well, they're fun, but they're definitely inferior to other games like the shooting, the driving, the fighting. If you play those parts of the game, you're going to see other games that do all those things better. Where L.A. Noire really exceeds is in the sort of the more psychological elements and the interrogations. Because there you're doing something different from a lot of other games. You're basically bringing your instincts and your uncertainty into a game. And you're trying to read people. And that's something that you don't really see in a lot of other games.
Mm-hmm. And what's weird too is you're kind of, as a gamer, I think you're kind of programmed and conditioned to think like, all right, if I mess something up, I could just start it over. It's not a big deal.
Right.
And this game doesn't make it easy for you to do that, right? You could restart the entire mission. Right. But I'm sitting there like, if I guess incorrectly, right? Like I make an accusation and I'm wrong, or I pick the wrong option in the dialogue, and then I hear that music that,
ding,
it's like
ding,
wrong,
ding,
the you were wrong music, and I'm just like, fuck.
It's okay.
Sorry.
Yeah,
so I get all angry, right? And I'm like,
that's how angry you were. That's
I was just like, but it's a cool feeling to kind of almost like the game takes that out of your control.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, all right, hey, realistically, you're not going to get 100% right. You're not going to complete everything. And I'm trying really hard not to use any guides or help, right? I just like, all right, I'm going to go with the flow. If I get 1 out of 4 correct, then so be it. I'll just play it out and see what happens.
I know I got a 0 one time. Oh my goodness, dude! Did I read that guy wrong?
Yeah, it's frustrating.
And I was like, "What?" I thought it was somewhat on.
And sometimes it feels a little arbitrary. Like sometimes I'm like, I'm not sure exactly what the game wants from me.
Right.
But that in itself, I forgive it because I think it wouldn't be fun if it were too black and white, right? So it's like so easy that you just like, of course this is what I'm going to pick. Of course this is what I'm going to pick.
Right. Well, it's one of those things where basically. You're trying to figure out what the game wants you to do. You're trying to figure out what these people are hiding. Are they hiding too much? Are they hiding a little? There's one guy who I interrogated, and I missed one question off of it, and it had nothing to do with the actual murder. It's just that he kind of took a little money out of a wallet that he found.
Mm-hmm. I missed that one too.
Yeah, but it had nothing to do with the murder, but he was holding something back.
And
instinctively I thought, I don't know, but why would he lie about that? He's got no reason to lie. Why am I thinking about whether or not a game character has a reason to lie?
Yeah, it's
because
cool.
This game makes you think that way. And that's what's really fun about it.
I like that, and I was afraid in the very beginning when you interrogate someone at the very beginning of the game and they make you do it again. I was like, if that's this game, I'm not going to like it. Because then then I'll just have to keep doing it until I get it right. Then it's like Groundhog Day or something, right? So then later on, I'm like, oh no, there's consequences. I can't go back.
I went through the same thing because at that first interrogation in the police station, I'm like, oh man, like the game's gonna make you keep doing it till you have 100% of the questions right. But
that would not be
that's what
fun.
I like
Yeah.
when you get away from that,
Right.
it's more flexible.
Well-
so like if you don't get enough clues from a person, then you might have to tail them, you might have to do these other things to try
Right.
to figure out the puzzle.
That brings up a good point. It's kind of like, so there's that part of the game, then there's the GTA part you were talking about, which is the part that I kind of, got mad about with some of that collision detection stuff or whatever. And then that brings up that, uncanny valley question where like you have this really realistic moments. You have things that you're thinking about that you wouldn't think about in other games. You have this amazing motion capturing. And then you go to, and this guy who's like,
What part's that?
that's part when you're walking around. That music actually plays. You walk through a wall, your cars, I see a car go inside another car. And, this kind of weird, kind of clunky, like, hey, it's the game again. And then you go back into this nice music and smoky club. And I'm like, oh, okay, I like that. So it's almost like it's two games in that way.
Yeah.
It is,
And so-
one is definitely better than the other. And talking about collision, at one point I was just wanting to get to destination, so I was just flooring it. And literally, I just ramped right off another car right in front of me, flew way up into the air.
Yeah, and then you
bounced, landed perfect, and just kept going.
Yep.
And
It's like the developers are like, you know what, that stuff might happen, but let's worry about the story over here.
well, that's not the important part of the game.
Yeah, it is.
And it's like they knew that's not the
Yeah.
important part of the game.
Well, they also have to make it so you don't get frustrated, right? Because
Yeah.
not everyone's going to drive well in the game. Not everyone's going to know exactly where to go.
Well, what's great, this one you can hold down Y and let the other guy drive for you, which I thought was cool. It
Yeah,
kinda
that's awesome.
Gets it
Well,
quicker
that's,
to you.
that's Rockstar's new thing. They've been doing that since GTA.
Yeah, well, I like
But
it.
I think this is a little different though. It's because it feels like, it's like it's a more natural trip skip, feature where it fits in the game, and then you're just like, okay, I don't want to worry about any dispatch missions coming in. I just want to get there. And I think it's key because one thing I don't like about the game is how spread out everything is. Like when those calls come in, it's like, hey, there's an emergency. It's so.
All the way on the other side. Of
I
town.
always want to do them. I
Yeah.
can't help it. I'm like, well, I don't want to skip it. I feel kind of bad. So I always will interrupt my mission to do that thing, and then I'll look on the map. I'm like, where the hell is this thing? And you just
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
driving and
just go
driving,
there.
driving, and then you're like way out of the way, and then you got to wait to get back to your thing. So I actually get out of the car and then make my partner drive.
The only time I was driving mostly is when I got so mad at my partner or the situation. Because again, what I was bubbling about in the beginning is I was just frustrated that my character wasn't as mad as I was, right? Because I was so mad about the things that were happening around me, and I didn't believe this is not really much of a spoiler, but there's certain answers to certain cases, and I wasn't okay with it. I wasn't like, I don't want to go get what's the word? Interrogation. I wanted to interrogate this guy and get this, thing out of him because I don't think he did it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I get so frustrated, I would go in the car and I'm driving, and then I would just destroy the city because that made me feel a little better.
Yeah.
And hit people a couple times, although they're hard to hit.
It's not impossible.
I know, believe
I've
me.
heard.
Oh, believe me.
I've heard.
We actually showed a video on Press Pause Daily how you can do it. Before we leave the LA Noire thing, I'm going to mention two things. One, the Bickersons are in this, which is a great radio show from back in the day.
Oh,
because I am 85 years old. And I found myself, and Scott too, just stopping the game and listening to these. I was like, oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, go out there and wait in the car for me.
You guys were listening to the radio.
I was
in the
listening to the
40s?
radio. Oh, me?
Back in the 1940s.
I'm saying I was listening to the show I was listening to the radio in this game, and I just waited, and I had to listen to it. It was really funny. The Bickersons are hilarious.
I've never heard of them. I'm not 80.
Well, you should.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard of them because.
Wow,
I've seen
you're
them.
turning on me. All right, thanks. The other thing I'll mention is there are some funny quotes in this movie / game, and I brought a couple of them because they're ridiculous. A lot of people say funny little sayings over and over again. One of them, this guy in jail, and he goes, I used to be indecisive. Now, not so sure. Brilliant. Second one, Greg likes it. Second one, my wife is so dumb she stares at OJ. Well, it does say concentrate. Again, back to the women. Mean. All right. So my verdicts.
This guy was in a bar. It's like, if olive oil comes from olives, where does baby oil come from?
Babies?
No, that's
what he just said?
Yeah, he just says that.
It's rhetorical, Carlos. Verdict, Russ.
Get it,
or forget it.
But
Matt.
don't expect it to be GTA 4 or Red Dead Redemption. It's its own game, and the game is really in the interrogations.
Yeah. So get it. Yeah.
I like those other games better, actually. I think out of the recent batch of Rockstar games, I probably like this one the least. But I'm also a get it because I think it's something you should experience because it's so different from other games.
Absolutely.
Just the interrogation, the facial animations, to see what they've done there and the interaction you can have. They're so believable. So I think it's just something you really need to check out.
Yeah, I definitely say get it as well. I'm saying there's some frustrations with the sexism stuff. That's just me personally, like, whatever. And there's some obviously weird issues with it being two games, kind of a GTA game and an interrogation game. But for the interrogation part of it and the really interesting take on a video game and facial motion, get it for that.
You're so sensitive.
I am sensitive.
You're trying to appeal to the girls out there, the viewers.
Oh, that's what I meant. How you guys doing?
Carlos would never hit you.
And you would? You said yes at the beginning of the show. You're done. We're going to do a commercial break. We'll come back and talk about E3. Hey girl, you want to get 10% off your next car rental reservation?
Yeah, yo.
I got the hookup. All you got to do is go to avis.com/pause. 10% off.
What?
That's how it works. Hell, you say something different than hell yeah this time.
Yo.
What's up, girl? You want to get a rental? I don't know what I'm saying.
No.
All right, welcome back to the show. We're going to talk about E3, and instead of talking about the biggest winner of the show, which everybody does, we're going to talk about who we think might be the biggest loser, which will make some people mad and sad, but it's just our opinion, and that's what this show's for, so shut up. Anyways, did I just tell my audience to shut up? I didn't mean that. Can we get back together? Russ, start with you. Who is, in your humble opinion, going to be the biggest loser?
Well, it's Nintendo's show to lose. They came in last year with no kind of expectations. Everyone was looking at Kinect, everyone was looking at Move, and everyone left talking about Kid Icarus, Donkey Kong Country, Kirby, GoldenEye, all those. Now they're coming in with heavy expectations. They've got to really knock it out of the park with the 3DS. They've got to do something about the poor launch tiles. They've got to bulk that up. They've also got to really do something with their new console, which is still the big question mark. What are they going to do with that? How much are they going to tell us? Probably not a lot. But
how much is going to cost?
How much is going to cost? They're definitely not going to tell us that. But
it would scare us all away.
It would scare us all away. What games are going to be on it? Probably not going to tell us that. And it's the absence of information that is probably going to have people walking out a little disappointed.
Interesting.
But I'm more worried about Microsoft because they've got Gears of War coming out. That's not a big surprise. They're probably going to do something with the 10-year anniversary of Halo, like re-release the original is the big rumor under the new engine. And aside from getting the Halo achievements,
who cares about Halo anymore? Really?
But
Dan does. Okay, never mind.
No, I'm more Call of Duty now than I am Halo, but
Okay.
I wouldn't mind the old maps.
Yeah. But Microsoft, if they go big with Kinect, how many people are really going to walk out saying, yay? Not a lot, I don't think.
So your answer is, who's the loser? Is that Nintendo? Are you saying Nintendo?
I'm saying Nintendo's at the biggest risk, but right now, unless Sony spends the first 4 hours of their 5-hour conference apologizing, I'm thinking Microsoft is in the weakest position.
Interesting. Over Sony.
Yeah.
Okay. Dan?
I'd say they all definitely...
They all lose?
There are no winners.
There's no winners.
Because, real quickly, I agree with what you said about Microsoft. What is their big thing now? So Gears of War, we've seen lots of, and a lot of us just got done playing it, right? So it's not as exciting to see what's new with Gears of War.
Yeah.
Sony, NGP, I'm a little bit worried about, or is it called the PlayStation Vita?
Let us hope not.
The thing is,
That's terrible.
I kind of see this movement toward people playing away from dedicated handhelds to playing more on their iPhones and their Android systems. So I think just by nature of that, handhelds are a little bit less exciting. But I think the biggest potential loser would be Nintendo, because here, if it's going to be, they've captured that casual market really well, right? They knew what they were doing. They got the mass market. So now, what can you do from there? We kind of saw that market's a little peaking. So the kind of idea is from everything we're hearing is they're going to try to capture the hardcore market again, right? A really powerful machine. It's maybe Wii backwards compatible. But the thing is, when's the last time Nintendo has done a really good job capturing the hardcore market beyond throwing us a bone with here's a Zelda, here's a Metroid, here's a Donkey Kong or whatever.
Well, they need third party. I mean,
exactly. It's first party is great. I'm gonna love the next Mario. Mario Galaxy, one of my favorite games ever. But the Wii, the GameCube, even arguably the N64, they were never really like super hardcore titles that like the bulk of the hardcore gamers really got into, like they did PlayStation and Xbox.
So you're similar to him in the fact that it's the biggest potential loser, but do you think that's the loser of the show? Do you think that's going to be?
I don't have faith that Nintendo. Well, now here's the other thing you got to think about. All the press coming from the show, it's going to be overwhelmingly enthusiast press, right? There's a lot of the hardcore guys there. So when Nintendo walks out of there, are they going to make guys like us happy? It's like, oh wow, the new whatever Call of Duty, or this game looks better than Halo, or this is their Gran Turismo or Project Gotham Racing. Like, I don't know if we're going to see all that. Like, Nintendo hasn't done that in so long. Maybe they'll turn it around, but I just don't have the confidence.
Interesting. Both of you guys are kind of. I mean, you said Microsoft, but you're still.
I'm
saying Nintendo. Maybe
the other big question mark on my mind with Nintendo is what are they going to do with Skyward Sword? Because we haven't heard anything about that for the last year.
Yeah.
And Miyamoto, he put Star Fox 2 in a drawer because it was going to be on the cusp of two systems, and he decided not to bother with it. Is Skyward Sword going to still be on the Wii? Are they going to bump it up to?
It's going to be on the next system.
Or are they going to dump it in the same?
Wait, didn't they do with another Zelda? And they did it on both, right? Or something like that with the Wii. Didn't they do one with? What was it? Twilight Princess. Yeah. Pull a Twilight Princess. Well, I'm going to say, obviously, the obvious answer to some of the things that could be bad is obviously Sony with what's going on with them. And yeah, they do have to apologize, and they have to come up with something that really is kind of amazing. Uncharted 3 is going to look amazing. It's going to be like, everyone's going to be like, holy crap. And it's in 3D, right, or something?
Yeah.
So it's going to blow people's minds. But that's still just one software title, right, we're talking about. And Nintendo's doing hardware. And I think even if Nintendo does, I don't think they can F it up that bad because it's new hardware. And we've been dying with this Wii for so long. I mean, we'll mention this. I was mentioning at the end of the show. I just got a 3DS. I know I joked about not getting one.
You said you weren't going to get one.
I know. I'll tell you about it at the end of the show, why I got it. But what I'm going to say about it is you forget how interesting and niche-y Nintendo can be and fun for like, oh, they got little games that don't make any sense, but it's fun. It's Nintendo-y. I want that, but I also don't want dated graphics with the Wii, and I want third-party. So if they're starting to say that they're going to do that, I think they can. Even if they say they're going to start doing that, I think they can't be the loser of the show. Because that means that they're at least going in that direction, and I'm happy.
Well, the rumor is that the first company that got the new console dev kits was Rockstar.
Oh, it was Rockstar, that's right. And we talked about last show, come out with GTA or something. I don't know.
If GTA 5 comes out as a third-party title on the new Nintendo console, that's
hot stuff, baby.
Yeah, that's a big
especially if it's exclusive. I think if they announce some exclusiveness,
they would never.
They're not going to get an exclusive GTA.
No, they would get an exclusive 3DS GTA.
Yeah, true, possible.
But if they could say something like that, if they're just doing another Modern Warfare 3, no big deal. Right.
Yeah.
If they're doing another like GTA 5 along with everyone else, no big deal. But if they had something like that that's really exciting for the hardcore gamers, looks super sharp, 1080p, 60 frames, whatever's showing off this theoretical power of this new machine, then we can walk away excited.
It's just
I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, the other. I'm actually kind of wondering if the Nintendo, taking aside the casual market, if the Nintendo crowd is wanting a Modern Warfare on their system, or if they're just wanting more Mario, more Zelda, more Kid Icarus. If they want Kid Icarus Wii or Kid Icarus, feel.
That's why I say it has to be exclusive, because then you will want that machine, right? Like, it's not going to happen. This is purely just making this up. But if somehow they were to say Modern Warfare 3 is exclusive to Project Cafe or Wii 2, it'd be nuts. Like, that'd be like an amazing announcement, and all the millions of Call of Duty players would buy that machine.
They're on that console day one. Yeah.
But then we're still not even talking about that weird controller. That who knows what that's going to be, the touchscreen thing.
Well, that's the other problem. I mean, who is excited about a touchscreen control anymore?
Well, I'll tell you why I was interested in it last show I mentioned is because before I had this, which again I'll mention why after, if you don't have a DSi or if you're about to get a 3DS and you don't know if you want one, the idea that this thing's going to be something you take with you, play your games maybe on the go, and it's interesting. It's basically competing with the NGP in my opinion, right? NGP Sony's, and obviously there's 3DS, but this thing could be a 3DS, basically, it sounds like.
We're thinking the actual controller is going to be its own compact.
That's what we're thinking, maybe. Anyway, so let me just say the biggest loser, I think, is between Sony or Microsoft, because Microsoft's Kinect, I mean, I love Microsoft. I'm a Xbox 360 fanatic. I love everything to do with the indie games and their interface, Netflix and Hulu Plus. I like it a lot, and they're not down right now like PSN is. But I think Kinect is failing. I mean, like, I was just telling Scott the other day, it's not even plugged in. It's currently not even plugged into my system. And because they added Netflix, you can do it with your hand, but it's nothing. So they are confusing for me. Sony has been down. They have such bad PR right now, and they only have some games that are really cool, but the NGP maybe. So it's between Sony and Microsoft is going to be the loser, in my opinion. I think Nintendo can't lose because they're introducing too much stuff.
Well, Sony, they've got more interesting games coming out that we know about.
Right.
Microsoft's got Gears and a possible Halo redo, which is going to be like, oh, cool, but we played it.
Yeah, we played it.
We played it.
All right, so that's going to do it. Before I go, I should mention this then. What do you want me to say? Like I was wrong or something? Or
yeah, that'd be great. Can you?
Can you?
Yeah, sackcloth and ashes, please.
So what happened is last show I said I'll never get this, and the reason why I got it because, well, A, it's my job to review stuff, right? Come on.
No.
Okay. B, Street Pass. I got it mainly for Street Pass, which is funny, but with NGP coming out, which I'll probably get that as soon as it comes out. These location-based stuff, I'm very interested in that. Meeting people, playing games with them online just by walking by the systems, interesting. 3D cameras, pretty cool. And also because E3, they're going to finally launch the eShop, and I wanted to have it when they launch it and say, now you can watch Netflix, or now you can watch 3D movies on your 3DS, because they're going to do that. Like it's going to be able to play 3D movies. So I got it for kind of like something's coming E3, and I want to have it when it happens.
It would be interesting if they started announcing a few deals with movie studios.
They're gonna.
Well, they wanted to last time, and they couldn't do it.
I know, right? It's third-party everything, Nintendo. That's what we do for the show. Thanks, Russ, for being on.
Absolutely.
You can check him at bitmob.com. Do you have a Twitter handle?
I do. Rus McLaughlin at Twitter.
There you go.
1S.
And Dan Shu, of course, is on Twitter. You're Bitmob Shu.
Bitmob Shu on Twitter and Facebook.
Facebook. Oh, wow. You just let your Facebook out there. Let your Facebook...
Yeah, I gave up. In the beginning, I was like, I don't know you. I'm not accepting friends requests. And then I'm like, it's kind of...
No, he's open. You're there first. And I'm at Twitter at Onawa, O-N-A-W-A. Be sure to check our live show if you missed it. It's at justin.tv/presspause. And it's at 12 p.m. Tuesday, Pacific. Also, we have edited episodes up at presspause.mevio.com. And we're on YouTube with youtube.com/presspausemevio, which doesn't roll off the tongue, but what are you going to do? Thanks for watching. See you next week. Oh, wait. Game over. No, damn it. I mean, confound it. Game over.